Hey everyone, so something kind of wild is happening. The world's going digital, e-commerce is just blowing up, and all of a sudden, logistics is cool. Yeah, I said it. Cool.
Seriously, who knew that warehouses and delivery trucks would be the thing everyone's talking about? It's crazy. So today, we're going to break down everything you need to know about starting your own logistics business.
So, here's the game plan for today. We'll start with what logistics actually is. Then we'll dive into 18 profitable business ideas. After that, we'll cover the key factors for success, how to scale up, and of course, the common challenges and how to crush them. And finally, we'll talk about your next move. Ready? Let's get into it.
All right, section 1. Let's start at the beginning. What are we even talking about when we say logistics? At its core, it's pretty simple. Logistics is just the art of moving stuff from point A to point B. But here's the trick. You have to do it efficiently, reliably, and without going broke. Think of it as the invisible engine that powers, well, pretty much everything you buy.
So, before you jump in, you've got to have your foundation solid. There are 4 cornerstones you absolutely need to have in place. First, transportation know-how. Second, a solid plan for warehousing. Third, the essential tech tools. And fourth, you got to navigate all that legal compliance, non-negotiable.
And speaking of essentials, let's talk about the big one, your business plan. I love this quote because it's so true. Your business plan is your GPS. Seriously, without it, you're basically just driving around in circles, wasting time and money, and, getting absolutely nowhere.
Okay, foundation set. Now for the really exciting part. Let's explore a whole marketplace of opportunities. We've got 18 profitable business ideas that are seriously taking off right now.
Let's start with the core operations. This is the hands-on, get-it-done stuff. We're talking the classics like a trucking business or setting up a warehouse. But also, think about the super high-demand areas like last-mile delivery. I mean, that's the final step to the customer's door. Huge for e-commerce. Then you've got things like local transport, moving services, and your classic courier service.
Okay, next up, let's talk about the coordination side of things. This is where you're not just moving boxes, you're the brains of the whole operation. You could get into something like freight forwarding, where you're the one dealing with all the complex customs and paperwork. Or you could focus on order fulfillment for all those online stores. And if you really want to go big, you can become a full-service, third-party logistics provider, a 3PL, basically handling the entire supply chain for other companies.
And finally, we've got the really specialized tech-driven ideas. This is where things get super interesting. Think about cold chain logistics. That's for stuff that needs to stay cold, like food or medicine. Super critical. Or reverse logistics. That's a fancy term for handling returns. There's also air transport, renting out equipment, or even becoming a consultant. Or, hey, you could forget moving stuff altogether and build a software that runs the whole show as a logistics tech company. The options are wild.
All right, so now you've got a ton of ideas swirling around. But an idea is one thing. Making it a success is another. So let's talk about the blueprint for actually winning in this game. You ever wonder what separates the businesses that thrive from the ones that just don't? What's the secret sauce? Well, it really boils down to just a few key things. Okay, look at this. It's all connected. First, demand, the engine behind all of this. E-commerce, it's just massive. Then, your tech edge. Let's be clear. If you skip the tech, you are going to fall behind. It's not optional anymore. Location, location, location. It's a cliche for a reason. A strategic spot can change everything for you. Them, partnerships. You can't do this alone. Logistics is 100% a team sport. And finally, compliance. The rules are strict, especially for international stuff. You just can't mess this up. All right, let's fast forward a bit. Your business is up and running. Awesome. But you don't want to stay small forever, right? So let's get into your growth playbook. How do you scale this thing?
There are basically 4 main ways to grow. First, add new services. So if you're a courier, maybe you add warehousing. Makes sense, right? Second, adopt better tech. We're talking a serious upgrade, like IoT sensors or warehouse robots. Third, build those strategic partnerships. Team up with big retailers or e-commerce platforms. That's a game changer. And fourth, the obvious one, expand your territory. Move into new cities, new regions, maybe even go international.
Okay, time for a little reality check. Logistics is not always easy. Things go wrong, so let's talk about the inevitable roadblocks. We'll go through the most common challenges, but more importantly, we'll talk about how you can actually fix them.
First up, the big one, crazy tight delivery deadlines. Everyone wants their stuff yesterday. The pressure is insane. The only way to deal with this is to lean hard on tech. You've got to use forecasting to see demand coming, route optimization software is a must, and maybe even look into things like crowdsourced drivers to handle those crazy busy times.
Next, those inventory headaches. You know the feeling. Either you have way too much stuff sitting around collecting dust, or you run out and can't fill orders. Both are super expensive mistakes. And the fix? You guessed it, smart software. A good inventory system with solid analytics is like a crystal ball. It tells you what you need before you need it.
And what about global disruptions? I mean, we've all lived through this recently, right? A problem on the other side of the world can shut you down overnight. The only way to protect yourself is to build resilience. Don't rely on just one supplier or one shipping route. Diversify. And stay totally on top of trade regulations, because they can change in a heartbeat.
And of course, there's the constant battle with rising costs. Fuel, labor, trucks, it all adds up. Your best weapon here is just pure efficiency. Run lean, invest in a fuel-efficient fleet, and seriously look into green tech. It might seem expensive up front, but it can save you a ton of money in the long run.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The good, the bad, the challenges. So where do we go from here? Let's talk about your next move and how you can grab a piece of this massive opportunity.
So here's the bottom line, the big takeaway from all this. There is so much space to win in logistics right now. Seriously, e-commerce isn't slowing down, which means the demand is only going up. It doesn't matter if you want to get into trucking or fulfillment or even build logistics software. There's a spot for you.
So what's your path to success? It's simple, really. First, pick an idea that actually fits your strengths. Second, build that solid business plan, your GPS. Third, lean into technology from the very beginning. And fourth, and maybe most important, focus on making your customers ridiculously happy. Do those 4 things and you're already way ahead of the competition.
Hey, if you got some value out of this breakdown, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe. And I really want to know, drop a comment below and tell me, out of all those ideas, which one would you go for first?